Nancy Shaw with Healthy Living. Today our guest is Keisha Place-Fensel. Hi Keisha, thanks for joining us.
Hi Nancy, thanks for having me.
Keisha has been working with our running group's training programs for the last few years, and this July we're starting a new training program for people who would like to try to train for a marathon and or half marathon. So this is a new program that we haven't had before. So you want to tell me a little bit about the program, Keisha?
Sure. The program will start on Tuesday, July 8th, and it will run for 15 weeks, training people for the Des Moines Marathon, half marathon, depending upon which one they decide to register for. With that, they are going to have to register for the marathon separately from the class, because some of the marathons, they may decide to do a different marathon in October or whatever, that we can kind of adjust and cater their schedule to.
Okay.
So.
And what do people have to be able to run to start with this program?
If they are going to be training for the half marathon, we ask that they can run continuously for 4 to 6 miles as their longest run. If they are training for the full marathon, we ask that they can be able to train for 6 to 8 miles continuously. Both of those would be without stopping, so that we know that they have a solid base there.
Right.
We also ask that they're injury-free, so they're not coming in
with
to the training with an injury, because that just makes it a lot more difficult for them to actually meet the goals that they want to seek. And ideally that they've been running for about 6 months or so, not necessarily continuously, but have kind of a good base built for that.
Okay, so for a lot of people, it's those who like to run, but they've never ventured into the marathon or half marathon because they're not sure where the training program or how to go about the training program. So it's a great way for people who have never done a marathon to get started in it, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I know you've done a lot of our half marathon training groups. What are the benefits in running as a group?
Well, there's a lot of benefits. First of all, when they sign up for this particular program, they're going to get a training calendar that's already set up for them. The routes, when we meet on Tuesdays at 5:30 p.m. from City Hall and Saturday mornings at various locations around town, we'll start off around 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, but we try and move it up a little bit sooner in the morning if we need to, as distances get longer and the heat comes out and all of that type of thing. But they'll have the routes, so they don't have to worry about trying to map out a route on their own. We will set out water and Gatorade for them, so they don't have to worry about carrying those types of things with them. They get accountability, which is a key component for a lot of people that are just trying to start out, and they've got people there that they will meet and who are going to say, hey, where were you if you didn't show up on the previous run? The other good thing is they're going to meet like-minded individuals, people who are looking for the same type of thing but don't necessarily have that network built yet, so they don't really know a whole lot of people potentially who are training for a half marathon or a full marathon. But they're going to meet like-minded individuals who are going to kind of help guide them, and they've got coaches there to help them, and so there's a lot of good benefits to that group training.
And then as we've seen in the half marathon Dam to Dam training programs that we have, just the bond that forms between them, and they really build a lifelong friendship with people in their group, and they cheer each other on and help each other out. So that's really cool to see.
Yeah, and a lot of them even. So we set it up where we meet twice a week as a group, but they still have to run a couple of times a week on their own. And a lot of times they'll meet those people and decide,
they still run together.
Hey, let's meet at Ada Hayden and let's run together at this time. Works for me. Does it work for you? Great, let's do that. So they still have that accountability piece and,
which is
and
so
that
important.
Camaraderie amongst their what I refer to as teammates. Even though it's an individual sport, I still consider them teammates.
Yeah. So. Oh, absolutely. And then, as you mentioned, one of the benefits that we provide are educational sessions. And a lot of people going into training for marathon have no idea of things to be aware of, be careful of. So what are some of the topics covered in education? We
we have in the past brought up a shoe fit expert from down in Ankeny, and he comes up and talks about the importance of getting in the right shoe because everybody's gait is different and their body type is different. So we have that. We also bring in a physical therapist who talks about injury prevention and gives some information if you get injured. They have free screenings, and those, gives out some information with regard to that. We do some information on strength training specifically geared toward runners to try and prevent that injury. We talk about sports nutrition because as you go longer, you typically need to take in some nutrition while you're running. We talk about nutrition just in general as a lifestyle, not geared specifically to that sports nutrition on that particular talk. So we've got a lot of different things there. We have an educational session on race etiquette and people who may be new to racing.
There's a lot that people don't know that goes on when you're a seasoned racer.
Exactly. So there's a variety of different topics that we have educational sessions for on Tuesday evenings after our runs.
Okay. And with our previous training groups as well, not everyone is new. Some people repeat it. So even if the person has run a marathon and they still want to get involved in a group, they're sure welcome. It doesn't have to be strictly for newbies.
Absolutely not. Even if, we've even had people who have been new to the area and have done a particular, they've already done that race or they've already done that distance of a race, but they're new to the area and want to meet those like-minded people to run with and get to know. And
so that's a great way to meet people.
That's another way to meet people as well.
Best way to meet people.
Yeah.
So tell me again when the group meets.
The group will start meeting on Tuesday, July 8th, which is a Tuesday, so it'll be at 5:30 p.m. here at City Hall. We will always meet at 5:30 p.m. on Tuesdays here at City Hall and run from City Hall. That way, if people are getting off of work, they have the locker room to change and all of that type of thing. But on Saturdays, we'll vary up our location around town.
That's the longer run, correct?
That's the longer run, just to kind of, so we're not running in the same places all the time.
Right.
So we meet at different parks and different places around town. And
you have the routes all planned out, so all they have to do is show up?
I have tons and tons and tons of routes.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So the program starts July 8th and goes till, again, when is the Des Moines Marathon?
The Des Moines Marathon is Sunday, October 19th.
Okay.
But again, if for whatever reason that marathon does not fit into their schedule, let's say they have a wedding that weekend or whatever, we can taper and modify their schedule to kind of adjust and meet. If it's a race a couple weeks before or a couple weeks after, we can adjust that.
Okay.
Now, if it's a marathon that's at the beginning of September, that might be a little bit difficult
that might be a little.
So
that's really good information. We're excited to be offering this training program. Keisha's done a lot of marathons and is very successful in working with people in completing half marathons, and so we're excited to bring it to Parks and Recreation.
I'm excited to give it a shot and see what happens.
Yes, and the Des Moines Marathon has grown, hasn't it?
Absolutely.
So it's really become very popular within people all over the state.
Yeah, and they're actually, there's talk about this year tying it in with Kansas, doing I-35 is what they're calling it, back-to-back marathon, one down in Kansas City on Saturday and then Des Moines on Sunday. So for those people that are exceptionally crazy, they can
do back-to-back marathons.
Or they could do the Kansas City one on Saturday if the Sunday one doesn't work here.
Right.
So
check out the weather. Do the one where it doesn't rain.
Exactly.
And October is such a pretty time along the Des Moines River Valley. It's a really neat experience to be able to do that. So again, July 8th we start. Tuesdays and Saturdays are the training program. Get all the information you need, the training calendar and everything. So it's a great program. So, well, very, very good. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing this information with us. If you're interested in joining our half or full marathon training program, you can give me a call at 239-5353. And you can check out all our programs online at amesparkrec.org. Again, thank you, Keisha, for the information. And again, I'm Nancy Shaw with Healthy Living. And remember, it's never too late to get fit.